Hey everyone, welcome back with JMT. Appreciate you guys checking in on the channel. So we're doing a little problem solving today. I've been through it before, so I kind of know what I have to do to make it work. But for you guys that want to have your Daihatsus sitting on a set of foursomes, and you're having troubles finding the 4-on-110 wheel, the lug pattern. So commonly you're going to find 4-on-100, 4.5, or if you want to spice it up a little bit, throw some golf cart wheels on it. Depending on what you're doing with it, you can get the adapters to go from 4-on-110 to 4-on-4. So what I'm using is a 1-inch thick wheel adapter. It goes from the 4-on-110 to 4-on-115. The wheels I use, they are 4-on-100 and 4-on-115. So, and it's easier to find the step up to 4-on-115 versus go to 4-on-100. The problem is going to 4-on-100s is it puts these studs that your wheels are going to mount to closer to the center bore, and sometimes the center bore will be smaller. Daihatsus have a big hub to where you need a big bore size to fit this spacer onto that hub properly. So did a little research and looking and found these. I'll get right up here. Hopefully you can see the exact size of this. I believe I got these off eBay. So they work well. What I was worried about is setting this tire out an inch and having clearance problems with turning. I'll put the other side on, and I don't think there's going to be any issue rubbing. If you would have any issue rubbing, it's because the truck is extremely loaded down and squatted, and turning you might get into right here with no lift. If you put a 2-inch lift on it, that's not going to be an issue at all. As you can see, I've already got the spacer on this. It comes with red Loctite for the studs off your hub. You don't want to be losing this spacer ever. So I've got the red Loctite on it. I torqued them at 90 foot-pounds. The wheels will be going on. They'll be torqued at 90 foot-pounds. So that's just an easy, quick way for you to be able to get a set of 13-inch wheels, 4-on-100 or 4-on-115, put on your Daihatsu. I'm not a big fan of running spacers, pretty much because you're putting that you're pretty much giving your wheel an offset. So the more offset, the more issues you have with turning. So luckily these Daihatsus, they have big fender wells, and you can still clear turning and everything just fine with your foursome tire. Luckily it's a skinnier tire. You know, it's 6 inches wide, 23 inches tall. If it was much wider, if it's an 8-inch wheel, 8-inch wide tire, it might be an issue rubbing in that front corner here with the door. If you didn't care about the truck, didn't care about it, just shave it. Me, I'd put a lift kit on it, never shave anything, and make it look good and set up better and perform the way it needs to be without cutting anything. So yeah, the wheels I use, they're going to be mounted on this truck. S110P, so the early 90s, maybe late 80s, early 90s. They have the same bolt style, the bolt pattern, and the last one I had was a 90 model, and I can't remember if I went to a 4 on 100 or 4 on 115. I believe it was a 4 on 100, and I had to take a hole saw and bore out the center of that spacer to make it big enough to go over the hub. So just be careful. That's why I just went ahead and went with the bigger lug style, the lug pattern, to convert it to go just a little bigger. So 4 on 110s, like right in the middle of the 4 on 100s and the 4 on 115s. So that'll do it for that. I guess I'll go ahead and put this wheel on. I've got to go get more lug nuts, but we'll go ahead and put it on with 2 lug nuts for now, just so you guys can see how this truck's going to set up in the front. See the clearance. See how good it's going to look. I really do love these wheels that I use. Mainly, not only stylish, but they're 13s, and 13s are extremely hard to find anymore. And the lug nut studs, factory on the truck, are 12 by 1.50, and conveniently enough, the studs on the spacer are 12 by 1.50. There it is. See if I'll grab the camera so you guys can take a little closer view at it. It looks awful close there, but we can turn it and it does not rub. So I'll let it down. Now it's got some sort of a Carolina lean to it. It's squatting to pee right now. What a difference. Fills up that fender well. It lifts it, I'm gonna say 1.5 inches from the stock tires to the foursome, the 165 8013s. We'll go ahead and I guess while we're recording, I'll jack up the rear end and we will put the spacers on and put the wheels on the back. Wow, you guys would not believe how much 1.5 inches will do when it comes to lifting anything, like, you know, a vehicle in that matter. And they're not setting out a real far, you know, the tire, I'd say the lugs of the tire are sitting halfway out of the fender well. So it's not terrible. Now, of course, it is going to sling a little bit. That's just the nature of the beast. But it's not so far out like a ATV wheel would be. You know, they set out quite a bit, but this, it sets out half of the outer lugs are sticking out, so it's not horrible. It's very manageable. Besides, you know, running an ATV wheel or a golf cart wheel, you're running ATV wheels and golf cart tires, and they're just they're just not the quality of these foursomes. These foursomes are an actual light truck tire. So they're an LT 8-ply, very heavy duty tire. Every time I bring these to the tire shop to get mounted and balanced, the tire guys are always saying how they can't believe how heavy that tire is for being as small as it is. That 8-ply radial LT, it's stamped on the tire that they're rated to hold a max of 65 psi and a max of 1,400 pounds per tire. And that is very impressive for a tire that size. If you're not hauling a lot of weight, you can put 25 pounds of air in these tires, and they ride really well at 25 pounds. If you're going to be hauling, I guess it really depends on what you're hauling. Say if you want to haul 1,000 pounds, pump the rear tires up to 45 pounds, maybe 50 at the very most. 45 pounds is what I would do, and maybe 30 in the front. Really don't need a whole lot of air pressure up here in the front. Really depends how you set your load, but typically it's the rear tires that's going to need a little extra PSI. We'll get this angled up here a little bit. This black mat is actually the bed mat that came in this truck. We're letting it set so it can flatten out. Let's get this spacer. This little tube of Loctite they gave me, I don't know if I have enough in here to do these lug nuts or not. All of them at least. I've got a couple tubes up there of it myself, so that's what we'll do. If you're not familiar with spacers, your lug nuts that come on the spacers is what holds the spacers onto your hub. So the lug nuts that they come with, they're going to go onto the studs of the hub on your vehicle. So if the lug nut size isn't correct that comes with the spacer, you can always just go up to your local parts store. They sell these little small lug nuts. You can get the correct size you need. This is something you can look at while you're ordering it. If you can't find it that's correct, then these are pretty inexpensive lug nuts. There it is. I'm so glad that those fit, that I don't have to take a hole saw and make the bore bigger. I did it on the last ones and I wasn't very happy about that. We made it work. We figured it out like normal, but it's a pain. So we're going to snug these. The reason I was just tapping on it was because they're just a little bit bigger in the hole than what the stud is, the lug nut stud. So snug up one, go directly across, If your socket doesn't fit in the hole, you can tap it just a little bit so your socket fits in there, and then the pilot of the nut is going to set them just right. So then you can go and cinch them up. I'll get the torque wrench. Set these at 90. All right. I have enough lug nuts to put all 4 wheels on with 2 lug nuts each. And I'll be going today, getting a set of lug nuts for it. So these wheels, we have to run a slim lug nut to where, you know, it's got a key, fits in the holes of the wheels, and they actually look pretty good too. There it is. I'll go ahead and let it down. I haven't got that side on yet, but for camera's sake, you know what, I'll raise it up to make it look equal here. There she is, setting up on the foursomes, looking good. And she's gonna handle good off-road. She's gonna ride better, handle better. Real nice truck. Look how spiffy she looks with them shiny wheels, mud tires. All right, guys, well, that's gonna wrap it up. So if you have a Hijet S83 S110P, that's what you got to do if you want to make it easy and find some wheels that'll work. Just get you some adapters, throw them on, get your wheels of choice, 4-in-100, 4-in-115, preferably a 4-in-115. It's just my preference, but yeah, there it is. We'll get this other one on. Actually, I'm gonna go get some lug nuts first and just put them all on and have lug nuts for that one, all 4 of them, when it goes on. So yeah, it clears. So that's the big thing. Do they clear? No lift. Sets it up 1.5 inches. Low extra ground clearance. A lot of bite on these tires. This truck does have the 4-wheel drive, high-low transfer case. So it's going to be an awesome truck for somebody. It's going out in the woods, going out in the fields. Or if you're just putting around with it in town, it'd be a great one for it. Appreciate you guys checking us out. Check out our link tree down in the description. And make sure you subscribe if you're returning. Hit that subscribe button. Doesn't do anything for you other than give you notifications when we upload videos. It helps us grow. Comment on what you think about this wheel and tire setups. Yeah, and if this is your first time here, you like mini trucks, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We'll keep these videos coming to you. This is what we do. So that's it.